welcome. You do not need to do anything right now. You do not need to remember anything, solve anything, or understand anything deeply. You are just here to listen. That is more than enough. Tonight, we are gently drifting away from the present moment. Not quickly, not suddenly. We are moving slowly, like a long yawn at the end of the day. Imagine setting down your phone, not throwing it. Just setting it down. It stays quiet, no buzzing, no glowing screen. It behaves itself for once. Now imagine the world around you slowly changing. The noise softens, the lights dim, and the modern day gently steps aside. We are arriving in Victorian England. This is 19th century England, a time that feels far away, but also strangely calm. A time before electricity filled every corner, before screens followed people everywhere, before people checked the time every 10 seconds, just in case time ran away. Victorian England stretches roughly from the early to late 1800s. It is named after Queen Victoria, who ruled for a very long time. Long enough that people probably stopped counting after a while. But tonight, dates are not important. Only the feeling matters. This is a world that moves slower, much slower, almost politely slow. You are not part of the action here. You are not late. You are not late. You are not early. You are simply observing, like someone leaning quietly against a wall, watching life pass by. There is no pressure to keep up. No notifications waiting. No urgent emails pretending to be emergencies. Just breathe. The streets of Victorian England are calm at this hour. Not empty, but not busy either. They rest in a comfortable middle space. The ground beneath your feet is uneven stone. Not perfectly smooth. Not trying too hard. Rows of brick buildings line the streets. Their windows glow softly from inside. Not bright, just warm enough to say someone is home. Gas lamps stand along the road, glowing like patient little moons. They do not flicker dramatically. They simply exist, doing their job. No complaints. Their light spills gently onto the street, catching bits of fog drifting through the air. The fog moves slowly, like it has nowhere important to be. Somewhere in the distance, a clock ticks. It does not shout the time. It whispers it. Tick. Pause. Tick. No one is rushing to beat the clock. The clock is not chasing anyone either. They have a respectful agreement. As you walk, your steps feel lighter. Not because the ground is softer, but because your thoughts are heavier and you are setting them down one by one. You do not need to plan tomorrow. Victorian England does not care about your schedule. You do not need to replay today. If this place has already moved on, the air smells faintly of smoke and cool stone. Fireplaces are lit inside homes, not roaring fires, just steady ones minding their business behind the walls. Families settle into quiet evenings. Some read, some write letters. Some simply sit and exist, which used to be considered a perfectly valid activity. Conversation is soft. Laughter is gentle. Nobody is yelling into a phone because phones do not exist yet. A very peaceful design choice. Horses stand calmly near the road, breathing slow clouds into the cool air. They are not dramatic about it. They have done this many times before. A carriage passes by, wheels turning with a steady rhythm. Clop, clop, clop. It is not in a hurry. Victorian England rarely is. You notice how quiet feels different here. It is not empty. It is full of small sounds, sounds that do not demand attention. Footsteps, fabric moving, a distant door closing, no sirens, no engines, no constant hum of machines, just space. You might notice your shoulders lowering slightly. That is okay. They have been working hard lately. You might notice your breathing slowing down. That is also okay. There is no rush to inhale faster. This world runs on daylight and darkness, on routine and habit, on knowing that tomorrow will arrive without being summoned. As you stand here, observing this quiet street, modern worries begin to feel out of place, like loud shoes in a quiet room. Deadlines feel less important. Notifications feel very far away. Even the idea of multitasking feels strange here. People in Victorian England focus on one thing at a time. Sometimes that thing is sweeping a floor. Sometimes it is watching the fire burn down. Sometimes it is just waiting. And waiting is not uncomfortable here. It is normal. You are allowed to wait too. The gas lamps continue to glow. The fog continues to drift. The clock continues to tick. Nothing needs to change. This is not a world asking anything from you. It is simply offering itself as a place to rest. If a thought drifts into your mind, that is fine. Let it pass like a carriage moving down the street. You do not need to follow it. Just stay here in this quiet moment, in this slower time. In Victorian England, where even the night seems patient, and as the modern world fades further into the distance, you can gently settle in. There is nothing to solve, nothing to prepare. You are exactly where you need to be. And this is only the beginning. The night is still here. Morning has not arrived yet. It is thinking about it, but it is not ready to commit. This is the quiet time that exists before the world wakes up. Not asleep, not awake, just resting in between. Victorian England is very good at this moment. The streets you stood on earlier are now even calmer. The gas lamps still glow, but they seem a little softer, like they are getting sleepy too. Their light stretches across the stones and fades gently into the fog. The fog is still here. Of course it is. Fog in England is very loyal. It rests low over the streets, hugging the ground, moving slowly like it has all the time in the world. Because it does. There are no alarms ringing, no sudden noises demanding attention, no one checking the time and groaning. People wake when the light changes, when the air shifts, when their bodies quietly decide it is time. Inside the houses, everything is still. Curtains remain closed. Fireplaces are low and calm, holding on to a little warmth from the night. You can imagine families sleeping upstairs, breathing slow, dreaming quietly, not knowing the exact time and not caring. Somewhere far away, a clock ticks. It is not loud. It does not echo. It simply marks time gently. Tick. Pause. Tick. The sound floats through the quiet air and then disappears again. The streets are mostly empty now. No carriages yet. No shop doors opening. Just the occasional shape moving in the distance. A night watchman walks slowly along the road. His steps are steady and unhurried. He is not chasing anything. He is simply there, making sure the night behaves itself. He passes by without a word. No conversation needed. The silence already understands him. The air feels cool and clean. It carries faint smells of stone, damp wood, and old brick. Nothing sharp, nothing overwhelming, just quiet. This is the kind of silence that does not feel lonely. It feels full of waiting. Above the rooftops, the sky begins to change slightly. Not bright, not colorful, just a gentle lightening, like someone slowly turning up a dim lamp. The stars fade one by one, not dramatically, just politely stepping away. They have done their job for the night. Birds are not singing yet. They are still deciding if it is worth it. They usually agree eventually. You notice how time feels different here. Minutes do not rush past. They stretch. They relax. No one is late. No one is early. There is no place that needs you urgently. You are still only observing, still just watching. This early hour belongs to quiet workers and calm routines. Milk will be delivered soon. Bread will begin to bake, but not yet, right now. The world is paused. You might notice your breathing matching the rhythm of this place. Slow in, slow out, no instructions needed. In Victorian England, mornings do not crash into existence. They arrive gently, almost shy. A faint light touches the tops of buildings. Roofs catch the first hint of day. Windows remain dark, but not for long. Somewhere, a door creaks softly. Someone has woken early. Not because they were forced to, but because they are used to it. They move quietly, careful not to wake others. Quiet was respected here. Still is. Footsteps sound distant and soft. Fabric moves. A kettle is placed on a stove, not yet lit. These are not sounds that demand attention. They simply exist in the background. You realize how rare this kind of quiet is, a quiet that does not feel empty, a quiet that feels safe. No sudden noises break the moment. No bright lights flick on. The city breathes slowly. Fog shifts again, revealing parts of the street and then hiding them once more. It feels like the world is gently blinking. Somewhere farther off, another clock answers the first one, not loudly, just enough to be heard. Tick. Pause. Tick. You do not need to count the seconds. They are already taken care of. As the sky continues to soften, you can sense the day preparing itself. But there is no rush. No pressure to get started. Victorian England knows how to take its time. You might feel your thoughts becoming quieter too. Less sharp, less busy. That is normal here. If a thought appears, let it drift away into the fog. It will not get lost. It just does not need to stay. This moment belongs to stillness, to the space between sleeping and waking. Soon, the town will begin to stir. Doors will open. Voices will rise softly. Life will continue, but not yet. Right now, there is only this gentle pause, this calm breath before the day begins. And you are allowed to stay here, listening, resting, letting the quiet do its work. Victorian England holds this moment carefully. And for now, nothing else matters. Morning arrives quietly in Victorian England. It does not ring. It does not buzz. It does not demand 5 more minutes. It simply shows up. The sky outside grows a little brighter, and that is enough. Light slips gently through curtains. Not all at once. Just enough to suggest that the night is finished with its shift. Inside the houses, people begin to wake. Not suddenly. Not dramatically. Just slowly opening their eyes and stretching in the quiet. There are no alarm clocks glowing on bedside tables. No phones hiding under pillows. No alerts waiting patiently to steal attention. Electricity has not arrived yet. And honestly, no one seems to miss it. Waking up here feels natural, like the body remembers how to do it on its own. Beds are simple, wooden frames. Firm mattresses. Heavy blankets that hold warmth through the night. Someone sits up slowly, careful not to disturb the room. Morning is treated with respect. Feet touch the floor. The wood is cool. Not shocking, just cool enough to fully wake the senses. Windows are opened slightly. Fresh air moves in. It smells clean and faintly damp, like stone and morning fog. There is no switch to flip for light. Instead, curtains are pulled back. Daylight does the work. It is softer than electric light, kinder to the eyes. It does not rush in. It takes its time. People wash with cool water from basins. No long showers, no sudden blasts of noise, just water, hands, and a quiet splash. The sound echoes gently in the room and then fades away. No mirrors with bright bulbs around them. Just simple glass reflecting a calm, sleepy face. Hair is brushed slowly, not styled for an audience, just made presentable enough for the day. There is no playlist playing in the background. No news updates, no weather app telling everyone how to feel. Instead, there is silence, and it feels full. Clothes are chosen carefully, but without stress. Shirts, dresses, layers. Everything takes a little longer here, and that is normal. Buttons are fastened one by one. Laces are tied slowly. Fabric settles into place. This routine is familiar. It has been done hundreds of times before. There is comfort in that. You might notice how much attention goes into small movements because there is nothing else competing for attention. No screens glowing. No machines humming, just people and their morning habits. Downstairs, kitchens remain quiet for now. Stoves are cold. Oh, kettles are waiting patiently. Someone moves through the house softly, opening shutters, letting in more light. The day continues to arrive. Outside, the streets are still calm. Morning sounds begin to appear, but gently. A cart in the distance. Footsteps on stone. A door opening. Birds finally decide it is worth singing. They start with just a few notes, testing the idea. The town wakes together. Slowly, like it agreed to it beforehand. Without electricity, mornings stretch out. There is no rush to beat the clock because the clock is not chasing anyone. Time feels wide, spacious. People know what comes next: breakfast, work, routine. No one is surprised by the day. You can imagine standing quietly in the corner of a small room, just observing. No one notices you, and that is perfect. The simplicity feels calming. There is no need to optimize the morning. No one is trying to be productive before sunrise, just awake. That is enough. A candle might still be burning from the night before. Its flame small and steady. Soon it will be blown out. Daylight takes over. Some people pause by the window for a moment, looking outside, watching the fog thin and drift away. This small pause is not scheduled. It just happens. Without electricity, the world does not jump into motion. It stretches, yawns. The mind feels quieter too. Thoughts move slower. They do not stack up on top of each other. If a thought appears, it has space. Nothing pushes it aside. This kind of morning does not overload the senses. It eases them awake. You might notice how peaceful that feels, even now. No sudden sounds, no flashing lights. Just a calm beginning. As people finish washing and dressing, they move downstairs. Steps creak softly on wooden stairs. The sound is familiar and comforting. Someone opens the front door briefly to check the street. Cool air enters, then the door closes again. Inside, the house prepares for the day in its own quiet way. You realize how different this feels from modern mornings. No rushing out the door, no checking the time every few minutes. Here, the day unfolds naturally. One moment leads gently into the next. This slower rhythm does something important. It gives the mind space to stay calm. Nothing feels urgent yet. And that is a gift. As the morning light grows stronger, the town is fully awake, but still quiet, still gentle. This is how Victorian England begins its day. Without electricity, without noise, without pressure, just light, movement, and time doing what it does best. And you are welcome to stay here a little longer. Observing, resting, the day will wait. Morning is fully awake now, but still very polite about it. No one is rushing around dramatically. No one is yelling that they have nothing to wear. In Victorian England, dressing is a quiet ritual, not exciting, not stressful, just familiar. Clothes are laid out carefully, often the night before, because mornings are for calm, not surprises. Fabric feels heavier than modern clothes, thicker, more serious about its job. There are layers, always layers. Undergarments first, then shirts or dresses, then more layers on top, just in case the weather changes its mind, which it often does. Buttons are everywhere. Small buttons, medium buttons, buttons that take their time. Each one is fastened slowly, not because people are slow, but because they are patient. There is no rush to be stylish. Appearance matters, but quietly, clean, neat, proper. That is enough. Clothes are brushed gently, dust removed with calm strokes. Nothing aggressive. Shoes wait by the door, sturdy, reliable. Not fashionable enough to be uncomfortable. They have walked these streets many times before. Laces are tied carefully. Double checked. Because stopping later to retie them would be annoying. And annoyance is not welcome this early. Mirrors are simple. No bright lights around them. No magnifying reflections showing every detail. Just enough to confirm, yes, that is me. Dot, and then move on. Hair is combed slowly, parted neatly, pulled back, pinned into place. This takes time. But time is available. No one is checking messages while doing this. No one is multitasking. Hands do one thing at a time, and they do it well. You might notice how quiet this whole process feels. Cloth moving, buttons clicking softly, shoes touching the floor. These are not loud sounds. They do not fight for attention. In Victorian homes, dressing often happens in shared spaces. Family members moving around each other calmly, respecting space, sharing the mirror when needed. There is very little talking, not because people are unhappy, but because mornings are gentle. Words will come later. Outerwear is chosen carefully. Coats, shawls, Hats. Hats are important, very important. They sit properly on heads, not casually. They complete the outfit. And they also help with the weather, which is always unpredictable. Gloves are picked up, folded neatly, ready to be worn later. Everything has a place, and it usually returns there. This routine has been repeated for years. It does not need improvement. It does not need updates. It works. Outside, the town begins to fill slowly with movement. People step out of their homes dressed neatly and calmly. No one is wearing pajamas outside. That idea would be shocking. The streets look orderly, not perfect, but cared for. Clothes reflect social roles quietly. Workers dress for function. Shopkeepers dress neatly. Professionals dress carefully. No one is trying to stand out too much. Standing out is not the goal. Belonging is. You walk along the street, still observing. No one notices you. You are just part of the quiet background. Fabric moves gently with each step. Long coats sway slightly. Skirts brush against shoes. The sound is soft, comforting. There is something calming about knowing what to wear every day. No endless choices. No trends changing overnight. Clothes are chosen because they work, because they last, because they are familiar. This simplicity feels grounding. People check themselves one last time before leaving. A straightened collar, a button adjusted, then the door opens. Cool morning air touches fabric. It feels fresh, clean. People step outside dressed and ready without feeling rushed. They know where they are going. They have done this before. Without electricity, without modern distractions, mornings stay focused. Not busy, focused. The mind does not scatter itself in 100 directions. You might notice how calm that feels. Even now, this daily act of dressing is not about impressing anyone. It is about preparing quietly for the day. A kind of respect for routine. As more people appear on the streets, the town feels awake, but still gentle. There is no rush hour, just a steady flow. Hats are tipped politely, small nods exchanged, acknowledgments without conversation. Clothing moves through the town like part of the scenery, natural, expected. This is how Victorian England presents itself to the day. Clean, orderly, unhurried, and you are still here, watching, resting. There is no need to hurry, no need to decide anything. Just let the rhythm of the morning carry you. The day has begun, but it is doing so quietly. Morning has settled in now, not loudly, just comfortably. After dressing, people drift toward the kitchen. Not all at once, one by one, like they agreed not to rush. Victorian kitchens are practical spaces, not fancy, not trying to impress anyone. They are warm. They smell faintly of wood, iron, and yesterday's fire. The stove waits patiently, cold for now. It will wake up soon. Someone bends down and opens it. Coals are stirred gently. A small flame begins to grow. No buttons are pressed. No machines beep. Fire is convinced to cooperate the old way. A kettle is placed on top. Metal against metal. It sits quietly, warming. Breakfast in Victorian England is simple, very simple. No giant spreads, no endless choices. No one asking what kind of milk everyone prefers. Mostly bread, tea, sometimes porridge, sometimes a bit of butter or jam, enough to start the day. Not enough to slow it down. The kettle begins to make a soft sound, not a scream, just a gentle reminder that it is working. Someone slices bread carefully. The knife moves slowly. Crumbs fall onto the table. No one minds. Plates are set out, simple plates, used many times before. Cups wait nearby, ready for tea. Tea is important here, very important. It arrives quietly, poured carefully, steam rising slowly into the air. No rush, no spilling. Milk is added, just enough. Spoons stir gently, circles forming, then stopping. The table is modest. Wooden, worn smooth by years of use. Chairs are pulled out softly. People sit. Breakfast begins. Conversation is minimal, not because people are unfriendly, but because mornings are still waking up. Some people read quietly, a newspaper folded carefully. No dramatic headlines shouted across the room. Others simply eat, chewing slowly, thinking slowly. You notice how calm eating feels here. No one is scrolling. No one is distracted. Food has attention, and that makes it taste better. Bread is warm. Tea is comforting. The room feels safe. Outside, more sounds drift in, footsteps passing by, a cart rolling slowly. Inside, dishes clink softly, not loud enough to interrupt anything. Children eat quietly too. They know this routine well. There will be time for noise later. Someone pours more tea. The kettle is already working again. Breakfast is not rushed, but it is not endless either. People eat what they need. Not more, not less. The simplicity is calming. When someone finishes, they do not jump up immediately. They pause, take another sip, breathe. The fire crackles gently. The kettle cools. Someone wipes the table with a cloth. Slow strokes. Nothing aggressive. Crumbs disappear. The table looks ready again. Breakfast dishes are gathered carefully, washed in a basin with warm water, hands moving steadily. No dishwasher, no loud humming, just water. Plates, time. As people stand and prepare to leave. Coats are picked up. Hats are adjusted. Gloves checked. The day waits patiently outside. Before stepping out, someone looks around the room briefly. A familiar space. A calm start. Breakfast has done its job. You might notice how peaceful this feels. No rush. No stress. Just nourishment and quiet. This kind of breakfast does not overload the senses. It prepares the body gently. It tells the day, we are ready. But we are not in a hurry. Outside, the town is more awake now. Shops begin to open. Doors unlock. Inside, the kitchen settles back into stillness. The fire burns lower. The kettle rests. Everything returns to quiet. Victorian breakfasts are not about excitement. They are about steadiness, a small anchor at the start of the day. And as you observe this calm morning ritual, your own thoughts might slow down too. That is okay. There is nothing to plan right now, nothing to solve. Just the quiet memory of warm tea, soft bread, a peaceful room. This is how the day begins here. Simple, steady, unhurried, and you are still welcome to stay. Watching, resting. The day will continue soon, but for now, this moment lingers. After breakfast, the day finally invites people outside, not loudly, just with a gentle nudge. Doors open one at a time, not all at once. No sudden rush into the world. Victorian England steps outside carefully. A front door creaks. Cool morning air moves in, fresh, quiet, and calm. Someone steps onto the street and pauses for a moment, not because they are confused, but because it feels polite to notice the day. The street stretches out ahead, made of stone and habit. It has been here a long time. It is not going anywhere. Brick buildings line the road, standing close together like old friends. Their windows reflect the soft morning light. Nothing shiny, nothing loud. Gas lamps are still standing along the street. Some are dim now, their job almost finished. They look a little tired. They earned it. The fog has thinned, but it has not fully left. It drifts gently, moving out of the way without being asked. Fog is considerate like that. People walk slowly, not dragging their feet, just not rushing. Shoes touch the stone with soft, steady sounds. Step, step, pause. No engines, no horns. Just footsteps and distance. A horse stands nearby, calm and patient. It shifts its weight slightly. Breath rises gently into the cool air. A carriage rolls past at an easy pace. Wheels turning, wood creaking softly. Clop, clop, clop. It is not late. It is not early. It is exactly on time. Shopkeepers begin to appear. Keys turn in locks. Doors open slowly. There is no dramatic unveiling of the day's business. Just a door, a sign, and quiet readiness. Windows are opened. Curtains pulled back. Light enters shops and homes alike. People greet each other with small nods. A tip of a hat, a soft good morning. No one expects a long conversation. This is enough. You walk along the street, still unnoticed, just an observer drifting gently through the scene. The air smells faintly of bread, stone, and clean morning. Somewhere, baking has already begun. You pass a narrow alley. It is quiet. It always is. You pass a small shop, shelves visible through the window, everything neatly placed, nothing flashy, nothing calling for attention. The town feels awake now, but still calm, like someone who has had their tea and is feeling steady. Children walk alongside adults, steps smaller, energy contained. They know there will be time for noise later. Right now is for walking. A newspaper seller sets up quietly, papers stacked neatly. No shouting headlines. People will come when they are ready. You notice how wide the space feels. Even though the street is narrow, even though the buildings are close, there is room to breathe. Time does not feel packed here. It feels open. A church bell rings softly in the distance. Not loud, not demanding, just a gentle reminder that the morning has arrived. Shops continue to open. A baker wipes down a counter. A clerk arranges papers. All movements are steady, practiced. These are not new routines. They have been lived many times before. As more people fill the streets, the sound grows slightly, but only slightly. Soft conversation, footsteps overlapping, fabric moving with motion. No single sound takes over. The town hums quietly like a low, steady breath. You pass a small square. A bench waits patiently. It has no plans. Someone sits for a moment, adjusting gloves, looking around. No rush to leave. The street continues beyond, leading to more streets, more shops, more calm routines. Everything feels connected, not complicated, just layered. You might notice how grounding this feels, walking without urgency, moving without distraction. No one is checking the time constantly because the time is already known. It is morning. That is enough. As you move through the town, you realize how gentle this transition feels from home to street to day. No sudden shift, no stress. Victorian England knows how to ease into things. You pause near the edge of the street and watch for a moment. People passing by. Life unfolding quietly. This is not a performance. It is just life happening calmly. And you are welcome to watch as long as you like. The street does not mind. As the sun rises higher, shadows shorten. Light becomes clearer. The day is fully present now, but still unhurried. This is how Victorian England moves through its mornings, step by step, street by street. And as you continue to observe, you may feel your own thoughts slowing, matching the rhythm around you. That is exactly how it should be. There is nothing you need to do, nothing you need to decide. Just walk gently through this quiet town. Let the streets carry you forward. The day has begun, and it is doing just fine without rushing. By now, the day has fully settled into itself, not loudly, not dramatically, just comfortably. Work begins in Victorian England the same way everything else does. Slowly, calmly, without announcements. People arrive at their places of work one by one. No rushing crowds. No sudden noise. Doors open, keys turn, shutters lift, and the day's work begins. Work here is not flashy. It does not try to impress anyone. It simply exists. In a small shop, a shopkeeper sweeps the floor. The broom moves back and forth in steady lines. Dust disappears quietly. Shelves are checked. Items are straightened. Everything is placed where it belongs. This has been done many times before, and it will be done many times again. A clerk sits at a wooden desk nearby. Papers are stacked neatly. Ink waits patiently in a small bottle. The pen moves slowly across the page. Scratch. Pause. Scratch. No typing. No clicking. Just writing. Time moves at the speed of the hand. In a bakery, the air is warm and calm. Bread rests on wooden boards. Duff is shaped carefully. Hands work without rushing. They know what to do. The oven gives off steady heat, not loud, not aggressive, just warm. In a tailor shop, fabric is measured. Scissors move slowly, cutting clean lines. No wasted motion. Needles thread through cloth. In, out, in, out. This rhythm is almost hypnotic. Work in Victorian England often happens in silence or near silence. Not because people are unhappy, but because talking is not required. Everyone knows their task. A blacksmith works nearby, movements controlled and steady. Metal warms slowly. Tools are lifted and placed back carefully. No sparks flying wildly, just steady effort. In offices, clerks copy documents by hand, carefully, accurately. Mistakes take time to fix. So patience is important. People here understand patience very well. Work days are long, but they are not rushed. Speed is not the goal. Consistency is. The town hums quietly with activity, each place contributing its own small sound. Footsteps, paper moving, fire crackling. No one sound dominates. You walk past these places, still only observing. No one notices you. No one needs to. This work does not perform. It simply continues. Outside, people move between tasks calmly. Deliveries are made. Goods are carried carefully. Nothing is thrown. Nothing is rushed. Even heavy loads are handled with steady steps. In a workshop, tools hang neatly on the wall. Each one has a place. Each one will return there. Order feels comforting here. Lunch does not interrupt work dramatically. It blends into it. A pause, a bite of bread, a sip of tea, then back to the task. No long breaks, no short ones either. Just a gentle rhythm. You might notice how focused everyone seems. Not stressed. Just present. Without constant distractions, attention stays with the work. Hands move. Minds stay calm. This kind of work does not pull thoughts in 100 directions. It keeps them grounded. You pass a small print shop. Presses move slowly. Ink spreads evenly. Pages are set aside to dry. Someone checks the text carefully, line by line. There is pride here. Quiet pride, not loud celebration. Just satisfaction. In a nearby street, a cobbler works on shoes. Leather bends gently under practiced hands. Stitching continues. Slow, steady. Shoes are meant to last. And so is the work. As the hours pass, the town keeps its calm pace. No sudden energy spikes. No exhaustion crashes. Work flows like a slow river. You notice how this kind of routine feels almost soothing, even to watch. There is something peaceful about repetition, about knowing what comes next. Nothing here is trying to surprise anyone. If a mistake happens, it is corrected calmly. No panic, no raised voices. Time allows for fixes. The afternoon light shifts slightly. Shadows move across floors and walls. Work continues. People stretch briefly, roll shoulders, then return to their task. No one complains loudly. No one rushes the clock, because the clock is not chasing them. As you stand quietly among these scenes, your own thoughts may slow down too. That is natural. Watching steady work has that effect. You do not need to understand every task. You do not need to remember anything. Just observe. Victorian England does not ask for efficiency. It asks for care, and care takes time. As the workday continues, there is no dramatic buildup, no big moment, just steady effort, moment by moment, and that is enough. The town breathes calmly through its work hours, balanced, unhurried. You are welcome to stay here, watching hands move, listening to quiet sounds. There is no rush to leave. Work will finish when it finishes. And until then, everything is exactly as it should be. As the workday settles into its steady rhythm, the market quietly comes to life. Not suddenly, not loudly, just gently, like everything else here. You approach the market at an easy pace. No crowds rushing in, no voices calling too loudly. Just a wide open space, slowly filling with people who know exactly why they are here. Market stalls stand in neat rows, wooden tables, simple cloth covers, everything arranged with care, not decoration, nothing flashes, nothing demands attention. Goods sit patiently, waiting to be noticed. Baskets of vegetables rest side by side, apples, potatoes, carrots still carrying a little bit of soil. They look honest, like they are not pretending to be anything else. A vendor stands behind a stall, hands folded calmly. No shouting prices, no dramatic gestures. If someone comes, they come. If they do not, that is fine too. You walk slowly between the stalls, footsteps soft on the ground, fabric brushing gently with movement. The air smells faintly of fresh produce, bread and morning air. Nothing sharp, nothing overwhelming, just clean, simple smells. A woman examines a basket of apples carefully. She turns one over in her hand, nods slightly. This is not rush decision making. This is thoughtful choosing. Nearby, bread is stacked neatly on a table. Loaves are wrapped in cloth, still warm. The baker stands quietly, adjusting the display. Hands moving slowly. No rush to sell. A few coins change hands. Metal touches metal softly. The sound disappears into the background. Conversation here is gentle. Short exchanges. Polite words. No one raises their voice. No one interrupts. People know this place well. They have been coming here for years. A butcher arranges his tools carefully. Everything clean, everything in its place. He waits patiently. There is no pressure. A customer arrives. They speak quietly. The exchange is calm and respectful. Time moves slowly in the market. Minutes stretch. No one checks a watch every few seconds. They trust the day to continue on its own. Children walk beside adults, hands held or close by. They look around with curiosity, but stay calm. They have learned the market's rhythm. A basket is lifted. Set down again. Someone pauses to speak with a familiar vendor. A few words. A nod. That is enough. You notice how sound behaves here. It does not bounce or echo loudly. It settles gently. Footsteps. Soft voices. The rustle of cloth. No single noise takes over. The market feels like a shared agreement to stay calm. You pass a stall selling simple household items, candles, brushes, small tools, everything practical, nothing unnecessary. Someone picks up a candle, checks it briefly, and sets it down again. No pressure to buy, no guilt. This place understands patience. Sunlight filters through the open space, touching tables and baskets softly. Shadows move slowly across the ground. The morning continues. You notice how nobody seems stressed here. Not the vendors, not the shoppers. They are focused, but relaxed. There is no background music playing, no announcements, just the natural sound of people moving through their routines. A man carries a basket carefully, adjusting his grip. He walks steadily, not rushing to get anywhere. Another stall sells flowers, simple bunches. Nothing dramatic. The flowers smell faintly sweet. Enough to notice, not enough to overwhelm. A vendor rearranges them gently. Petals shift softly. People move through the market like water. Slow, smooth, no sharp movements. You pause for a moment and stand still. No one bumps into you. No one rushes past. There is space. This market is not about excitement. It is about balance, buying what is needed, selling what was prepared, nothing more. As the market continues, there is no big moment, no climax, just steady life, happening quietly. You might feel your own thoughts settling again, slowing down. That is natural here. If a thought drifts in, let it pass like someone walking by with a basket. No need to follow it. The market does not demand attention. It offers calm. As people finish their shopping, they leave one by one. No sudden emptying of the space. Stalls remain. Vendors wait. The day still has plenty of time left. You take one last slow walk through the rows, noticing familiar shapes, familiar sounds. Everything feels steady. This is how Victorian England handles trade and daily needs. Quietly, patiently, without rushing the moment. And you are still welcome here, standing, observing, resting. The market will continue whether you stay or go. And that is comforting. Nothing depends on you doing anything. Just let the calm carry you forward. After leaving the quiet market behind, you drift gently toward the homes of Victorian England. Nothing grand, nothing dramatic, just rows of houses standing calmly like they have been waiting for you. Doors are solid and heavy. They do not swing open easily. They open slowly, as if reminding everyone to take their time. You step inside, still only observing. The air feels warmer here. Not hot, just comfortable. Fireplaces sit quietly in most rooms. Some have small fires burning. Others rest, waiting for evening. The fire does not crackle loudly. It murmurs. Furniture is sturdy and practical. Chairs are wooden. Tables are thick and reliable. Nothing folds. Nothing moves quickly. These pieces are made to stay. You notice how rooms are arranged with purpose. Everything has a place. A small table near the window, a chair beside the fire, a shelf holding a few books. Not many books, just a few, each one chosen carefully. Walls are simple, sometimes decorated with a picture or a small clock. Nothing flashy. The clock ticks slowly. Each sound spaced far apart. Tick, pause, tick. It does not rush time forward. It simply marks it. Light enters through windows gently, filtered, softened. Curtains hang still, barely moving. The outside world feels far away in here. In the kitchen, things are calm and organized. Plates stacked neatly. Cups placed upside down to dry. Nothing is left scattered. A kettle sits near the fire, waiting patiently. It will be used when it is needed, not before. Cooking here is slow and steady. No timers, no alarms, just experience. Someone stirs a pot gently. The spoon moves in slow circles. Steam rises quietly. The smell is warm and familiar. Simple food, comforting food, nothing fancy. Meals are prepared with care, not speed. No one rushes through the process because the process matters. In another room, a small writing desk sits near the wall. Paper rests neatly on top. Ink waits quietly, Letters are written slowly, words chosen carefully. There is no backspace here. So thoughts move at a calmer pace. You notice how quiet these homes feel. Not empty, just peaceful. No constant background noise. No humming machines. Silence here feels friendly. In bedrooms, beds are simple but solid. Thick blankets folded neatly. Pillows arranged carefully. Nothing overly soft, nothing uncomfortable either. Just right. Clothing is placed neatly on chairs or hooks. Everything ready for tomorrow. Nothing thrown on the floor. Even personal spaces feel orderly. A small washstand sits in the corner. Basin, pitcher, towel folded neatly. Morning routines are simple here. Evening routines are calm. Nothing feels rushed. You notice how people move through their homes slowly. They do not rush from room to room. They walk with purpose, but not urgency. Each movement feels intentional. In the sitting room, someone reads quietly by the fire. Pages turn slowly. No skimming. Another person sews calmly nearby. Needle in, needle out. The rhythm is gentle. There is no pressure to be entertained constantly. No need to fill every quiet moment. Quiet moments are welcomed. If someone speaks, it is softly. A short comment, a gentle reply, then silence again. Homes here are not places of constant activity. They are places of rest, even during the day. You might notice how safe these spaces feel, not exciting, not dramatic, just steady. These homes protect people from the outside world, from weather, from noise. They create a boundary where time slows down. As afternoon light shifts, rooms grow slightly dimmer. Firelight becomes more noticeable. Shadows stretch across floors and walls, not sharply, softly. You stand quietly, observing it all. There is no television here, no radio, no screens. Entertainment comes from conversation, reading, or simply being present. And sometimes from doing nothing at all. You might feel your own breathing slow as you imagine this space. That is normal. These rooms encourage calm. Nothing demands your attention. Nothing pulls you away. Even the furniture seems relaxed. If a chair could sigh, it probably would. Homes in Victorian England are not about showing off. They are about comfort, about routine, about returning to the same spaces day after day. And that repetition is soothing. As evening approaches, lamps are lit slowly. One by one, the light is warm and gentle. It does not hurt the eyes. It invites rest. You do not need to stay alert here. These homes do not require it. They welcome stillness. You are free to linger in this quiet atmosphere, to notice the small details, the steady clock, the warm fire, the calm air. Nothing more is expected of you. And that is the most comforting part. As the day moves past morning and early work, Victorian England begins to soften. not stop. Just slow down a little more. Midday arrives quietly. There is no loud announcement that it is time to rest. People simply feel it. The sun sits a little higher now, but it does not feel harsh. Its light spreads gently across streets and windows. This is the part of the day where effort eases. Shops remain open, but movement slows. Work continues, but at a calmer pace. People pause more often. In homes, curtains are adjusted slightly to block the brighter light, not fully closed. Just enough. Rooms grow cooler, more comfortable. In some houses, chairs are pulled closer to windows, not for the view, just for the light. Someone sits down with a cup of tea, not rushed, not distracted. The cup is held with both hands for a moment, as if warmth itself deserves attention. Midday meals are simple: bread, soup, leftovers from earlier, nothing fancy, nothing heavy. Eating is unhurried. Conversation, if it happens, stays soft and brief. People do not feel the need to fill the space with words. Silence feels useful right now. In workshops and shops, workers pause more often. They stretch slowly, roll their shoulders. No one checks the time repeatedly. Time is already behaving. Outside, the streets grow quieter. Footsteps are fewer. Carts move slowly. Even horses seem to understand it is not a rushing hour. Shadows shorten under the midday sun. They sit closer to the feet of buildings and people. Everything feels closer to the ground. In some homes, people rest in chairs near the fire, even if it is barely lit. The fire is not about heat now. It is about comfort. Someone closes their eyes for a moment, not fully asleep, just resting. A short pause. In Victorian England, rest is not something to feel guilty about. It is part of the day. Bodies need it. Minds need it. No one calls it productivity. They simply call it living. You notice how little movement there is in the air. No constant breeze. No sudden noise. The quiet feels thick but gentle. In a sitting room, a book rests open on someone's lap. They may be reading. They may not. Either way, the book is patient. In another house, someone mends clothing slowly, needle moving carefully, thread pulling through cloth. This is not urgent work. It can wait. Children sit quietly nearby. They are not running. They are not shouting. They have learned this rhythm too. Midday teaches calm by example. If someone lies down, it is not for hours. Just a short rest. Eyes closed, breathing slow, enough to reset the day. You walk through these moments as an observer. No one expects anything from you. You are not Lurley. You are exactly where you need to be. Outside, a few people sit on doorsteps or benches. They do not talk much. They watch the street or the sky. Clouds move slowly overhead. No rush there either. birds land, pause, then leave again. Everything understands this part of the day. In workplaces, tasks continue, but lightly. No heavy labor now: sorting, organizing, preparing for later. Hands move slower. Mistakes are fewer. The world feels forgiving at midday. You might notice your own's becoming softer here. Less sharp. That is natural. Midday rest has a way of smoothing edges. If a thought arrives, it does not stay long. It drifts away like a cloud passing the sun. Nothing pulls you back into worry. Victorian England does not demand constant alertness. It respects the body's limits, and that respect feels calming. Clocks still tick, but they seem quieter now, almost polite. Tick, pause. Tick. They are not pushing anyone forward. In kitchens, dishes are cleaned slowly. No clattering, no rushing. Everything is placed back where it belongs. Order returns naturally. You notice how rest here is not dramatic. No laying down suddenly. No exhaustion. Just gentle pauses woven into the day. This is not laziness. It is balance. As midday begins to pass, energy slowly returns, but not all at once. People rise from chairs calmly, stretch gently. Work will continue soon. But for now, this quiet still holds. You are welcome to stay inside it, to let your mind rest the way these homes and streets do. There is nothing you need to remember, nothing you need to plan. Just this calm moment, stretching gently through the middle of the day. Midday in Victorian England does not rush toward afternoon. It drifts there slowly. And you drift with it. As midday quiet slowly fades, something gentle takes its place. Not excitement, not energy, just connection. In Victorian England, social life does not arrive loudly. It does not announce itself. It simply happens. People meet each other without planning too much. They pass on the street. They stop. They nod. Sometimes they talk. Sometimes they do not, and both are fine. Conversations here are not performances. They are not meant to impress. They are meant to exist. Two neighbors stand near a doorway, speaking softly. Their voices do not carry far. A few words. A pause. A small smile. No one interrupts. No one rushes away. Time allows these moments to breathe. In small sitting rooms, visitors arrive quietly. A knock, a pause, a door opens slowly. Coats are removed carefully. Chairs are offered. Tea appears without drama. There is no background music playing, no constant chatter, just the sound of cups being placed on saucers. A soft clink. People sit facing each other, not their hands. They listen. Listening is valued here. If someone speaks, they are allowed to finish. No interruptions. No distractions. Silence is not awkward. It is comfortable. Sometimes a conversation pauses completely. No one rushes to fill the space. They simply sit. In parks and small public spaces, people walk side by side, not fast, not slow. Just together. They do not stare at each other while walking. They look ahead. Words come when needed. Silence fills the rest. Children play nearby, but quietly. Games are simple. Running happens, but not screaming. Laughter appears briefly, then fades. It does not echo. In shops, familiar faces greet each other with nods. A few polite words are exchanged. How are you? Quite well. That is enough. No long explanations. No emotional displays. Social connection here respects personal space. Even friendships have room to breathe. In homes, evening visits are planned gently. No one arrives unannounced too often. When they do, it is still welcomed because expectations are low. People are not expected to entertain constantly. They are allowed to be. You notice how body language carries meaning. A nod, a pause, a glance. Words are not always necessary. In Victorian England, people understand this well. Social life is woven into daily routines. It does not sit on top of them. Neighbors help neighbors quietly. A basket delivered, a message passed. No announcement is made. Kindness happens without attention. There is comfort in familiarity. Seeing the same faces, hearing the same voices. Not every day needs new experiences. Repetition feels safe. In small gatherings, people sit in comfortable silence. Someone might read aloud briefly, a poem, a letter. The voice is calm, the pace slow, no dramatic pauses, just steady words filling the room gently. When reading ends, silence returns. No applause, no comments needed. In public houses, socializing is quiet and contained. Conversations stay at tables. No loud laughter spilling into the street. Everyone seems aware of shared space. You notice how social energy here does not drain people. It supports them because it does not demand performance. No one is trying to be the most interesting person in the room. That role does not exist. If someone grows tired, they leave politely. No guilt. No explanations. Others nod in understanding. Rest is respected. As afternoon turns slowly toward evening, social moments fade gently. No dramatic ending. Visits end quietly. Doors close softly. People return to their routines. Connections remain even when people separate because they are steady. You might feel how this kind of social life would be easier on the mind. Less pressure, less noise, just presence. Victorian England does not confuse silence with loneliness. It understands the difference. Silence here is shared, and sharing silence is a form of closeness. As you stand quietly among these moments, there is nothing you need to say, nothing you need to do. You are already part of the calm. Social life continues gently around you without shouting, without flashing lights, just human connection moving slowly through the day. And that is more than enough. As the day slowly leans toward its end, Victorian England begins to soften again. Not suddenly, not dramatically. Evening does not arrive all at once here. It settles. The light outside changes first. It grows warmer, lower. Sunlight stretches across streets and walls, moving slowly, like it has nowhere else to be. Shadows grow longer. They do not rush ahead. They simply follow. People notice this shift without saying much about it. They feel it more than they think about it. Work naturally begins to wind down. Hands slow. Movements become lighter, not because someone told them to stop, but because the day feels complete. Shopkeepers begin small closing routines. Nothing dramatic. Items are placed back where they belong. Shelves are straightened one last time. Doors remain open for a while longer. No one is pushed out. If someone arrives late, they are still welcomed. Evening is patient. On the streets, footsteps become fewer. Those who walk now do so calmly. No one is in a hurry to get home. Home is waiting. Gas lamps begin to glow one by one. Soft light replaces sunlight gently. The lamps do not shine brightly. They glow. Each one creates a small circle of warmth in the growing dimness. The street looks calmer now, less sharp, more forgiving. Horses move slower. Carts make quieter sounds. Even the air feels different. Cooler, heavier. In homes, fires are tended again. A piece of coal added. A log adjusted. The fire responds quietly. Rooms begin to glow from the inside. Windows show warm light behind curtains. From the outside, homes look peaceful, contained, safe. Inside, evening routines begin, not rushed. Clothing is changed slowly. Shoes are placed neatly aside. Hands are washed. Faces refreshed. No one checks a schedule. Time is generous now. In kitchens, simple evening meals are prepared. Nothing complicated. Soups, bread, warm food meant to comfort, not excite. Cooking smells drift gently through homes. They do not overpower the senses. They feel familiar. Families gather without announcement. They simply appear in the same space. Chairs are pulled closer together. Plates are set calmly. Meals are eaten slowly. Bites are small. Conversation happens naturally, then fades. No one fills silence on purpose. The day has already used enough words. Outside, the sky continues to darken. Colors fade gently. Blue becomes gray. Gray becomes soft darkness. Stars do not rush to appear. They wait their turn. You might notice how the town feels quieter now. Not empty, just settled. The day's energy has been spent carefully. Nothing is left over. After dinner, movement slows further. Dishes are cleaned quietly. Water runs softly. Plates touch gently. Everything is placed back where it belongs. In sitting rooms, lamps are lit. The light is low and warm. Eyes relax in this kind of glow. Someone reads softly. Someone else sues or mends. Hands move with memory, not effort. The clock ticks steadily, not loud, not urgent. Tick, pause, tick. It sounds slower in the evening. People sit back in their chairs. Posture softens. The body understands this part of the day. Evening does not demand productivity. It invites rest. Outside, the last few walkers head home. Their footsteps are calm, doors close gently, not slammed. The street settles into stillness. You might feel your own thoughts becoming quieter here, less sharp, less busy. That is natural. Evening in Victorian England encourages the mind to loosen its grip. There is no bright entertainment pulling attention, no sudden noise. Just the gentle presence of being done for the day. Fires crackle softly, not loudly. The sound blends into the background like breathing. Curtains are drawn slowly, not tightly, just enough to keep the night out. People yawn without embarrassment, stretch slowly. No one pretends to stay awake longer than needed. Fatigue is respected. This is the hour where effort gives way to comfort, where activity becomes rest. The world outside continues, but quietly. Nothing demands your attention now. You are welcome to remain here. Watching lamplight flicker, listening to gentle sounds. Evening has settled in fully now, and it plans to stay for a while. There is no rush to move forward. Just let the calm deepen. A night has now fully arrived in Victorian England, not suddenly, not dramatically. It has eased its way in. Outside, the streets are mostly quiet. Inside, homes glow softly with candlelight. This is the heart of the indoor evening. Candles are lit one by one, not all at once. A match strikes softly. A flame appears, then another. Each candle creates a small pool of light, not bright, not sharp. The light flickers gently as if it is breathing. Rooms feel smaller now. Not cramped, cozy. Corners fade into shadow, and that feels comforting. Furniture looks softer in candlelight. Edges blur slightly. Nothing feels demanding. People settle into their evening places. The chairs they always use. The corners they know well. A shawl is pulled around shoulders, not because it is very cold, just because it feels nice. Candles do not light everything equally. Some areas glow warmly. Others rest in darkness. This makes the room feel calm, private. Eyes relax in this kind of light. They do not strain. Reading happens slowly now. If it happens at all, someone holds a book close to the flame. Pages turn carefully. No one rushes through words. In another corner, someone sews quietly. The needle catches the light briefly, then disappears again. In, out, in, out. The rhythm feels almost sleepy. Conversation is soft, if it happens. Voices are lower now. People speak fewer words in the evening. They choose them carefully. Sometimes no one speaks at all. Silence sits comfortably in the room, like an old friend. There is no pressure to be interesting. No need to explain anything. Just being here is enough. The fire burns low now. It gives warmth, but gently. Occasionally, a small sound comes from it, a soft crackle, then quiet again. The clock continues to tick. It sounds louder at night, but not annoying. Tick, pause. Tick, it feels like it is counting moments, not minutes. Tea might be poured. Slowly, cups are lifted carefully. Set down quietly. No clinking. No rush. Drinking feels like part of resting. You notice how bodies move differently now. Slower, heavier. People lean back. They stretch gently. Yawns appear unhidden. No one pretends to stay awake longer than they feel. Victorian evenings respect tiredness. Candles burn steadily, but not forever. Everyone knows this. Even the light is temporary. Curtains are fully drawn now. The outside world stays outside. Inside feels safe, contained. If someone stands up, it is unhurried. If they sit, they sink in slowly. The day feels complete. No one is thinking about tomorrow yet. That will come later. For now, this time belongs to the evening. You might notice how thoughts soften here. They lose their sharp edges. Memories drift in quietly, then drift away again. Nothing holds your attention too tightly. This is not entertainment time. It is settling time. Candles flicker slightly when someone moves past, then return to stillness. Shadows dance gently on the walls, not fast, not dramatic, almost like they are tired too. In some homes, someone hums quietly, not a full song, just a sound. It fades after a few seconds. That is enough. Everything in the room seems to slow together. Breathing, movement, thought. Even time feels heavier. Outside, the town is nearly silent now. No carts, no voices, just the occasional distant sound. Then nothing again. Indoors, people prepare quietly for rest. Not sleep yet, just deeper calm. A candle is blown out carefully. Another remains. Light decreases slowly. No sudden darkness. The room adjusts naturally. Eyes grow heavier. Shoulders relax. The body understands this stage of the evening. This is the hour where nothing more is expected. No productivity, no plans. Just comfort and warmth. You are welcome to stay here, sitting quietly, watching candlelight move. There is nothing you need to do, nothing you need to remember. The evening holds you gently. And it will continue like this for a while longer. Slow, soft, calm. The night has fully settled now, not just outside, inside too. Victorian England grows very quiet at this hour, the kind of quiet that feels complete. Streets rest under the dark sky. Gas lamps glow softly, but there are fewer of them lit now. Their light stretches gently across empty paths. Nothing moves quickly. Most doors are closed. Most windows are dark. Inside homes, the final parts of the evening continue slowly. Candles burn lower. Flames grow smaller. People move carefully so they do not disturb the calm. Footsteps are soft, almost polite in bedrooms. Lamps are turned down or blown out one by one. No sudden darkness. Just less light, slowly. Beds wait patiently. They are solid. Blankets are folded neatly. Sheets feel cool at first. A window might be opened slightly, just enough for fresh air. Night air drifts in quietly. It smells clean, still. Clothing is placed carefully on chairs or hooks. Nothing is dropped. Every movement feels thoughtful. People wash their faces slowly. Water splashes gently. No rushing to finish. Nighttime routines are not chores here. They are signals. Signals that the day is done. The body understands this language well. In some homes, a short prayer is said. Soft, private. In others, there is only silence. Both are accepted. Candles flicker one last time before being blown out. A breath, then darkness. The room does not disappear. It softens. Moonlight may slip through curtains faintly, just enough to shape the space. Furniture becomes outlines, familiar shapes. Nothing feels threatening. The clock continues its steady ticking. It sounds louder at night, but still gentle. Tick. Pause. Tick. It marks time, but it does not hurry it. People lie down slowly, not collapsing, settling. Blankets are pulled up carefully, pillows adjusted. A sigh escapes. Quiet. Breathing finds its rhythm. Outside, the town sleeps. No carts roll by. No voices call out. Even animals rest. The night feels wide and calm. You might imagine standing outside for a moment, looking at the darkened street. Houses stand quietly side by side, all at rest. A faint light might glow in one window. Someone reading a little longer. But even that light will fade soon. The sky above is deep and dark. Stars sit quietly in place. They do not sparkle dramatically. They simply exist. Clouds move slowly, if at all. Time stretches gently. Indoors again, sleep approaches naturally, not forced, not chased. No alarms are set. No screens glow. The body will wake when it is ready. Thoughts drift in slowly, then drift away. Memories appear without sharp edges. Nothing needs solving now. The night does not ask questions. Breathing deepens. Muscles relax. The weight of the day lifts. Victorian nights are long and still. They allow rest to fully arrive. No sudden noises interrupt. If a sound appears, it is soft. A floor creaking, the wind brushing a window. Then silence returns. The bed holds steady. The room stays calm. Sleep moves closer with each slow breath. No one resists it. There is comfort in knowing that everyone around you is resting too. The whole town sharing the same quiet. This is nighttime in Victorian England. Deep, still, complete. You do not need to stay awake anymore. Nothing important will be missed. The world is safe enough to sleep. Let the quiet hold you. Let the darkness soften everything. Night will stay for many hours. And rest has all the time it needs. Now the night is deep, not new, not fresh, deep. Victorian England rests completely. There is nothing left to do, nothing left to prepare. The world has already done enough for today. Inside the quiet bedroom, the air is still, not heavy, just calm. The bed holds steady beneath you. Blankets feel familiar now. The room no longer asks for attention. Shadows sit quietly where they belong. They do not move. They do not change. The clock continues its slow rhythm somewhere nearby. Tick. Pause. Tick. But even that sound begins to feel far away. Breathing becomes the most noticeable thing now. In, out. Nothing else matters. Thoughts arrive less often. And when they do, they feel soft, unfinished. They drift away before forming fully. Victorian England does not hold on to the day. It lets it go. The streets outside are completely still now. No footsteps, no wheels. Gas lamps glow faintly, if they are still lit at all. Their light barely touches the ground. The town sleeps as one. Houses stand quietly side by side, all dark, all resting. Even time feels slower now. Minutes stretch, moments blur together. The edges of the world soften. Inside the room, details fade gently. Furniture becomes shape. Shape becomes shadow. Shadow becomes nothing at all. The body grows heavier, comfortably heavy. Muscles release the last bits of effort they were holding. Shoulders drop, hands relax. Even the face softens. There is no reason to stay alert. The night will not surprise you. Victorian nights are predictable in the best way. Long, still, safe. Breathing deepens naturally without trying. In, out. Each breath carries you a little further away from the day. Memories of the town drift by softly. Quiet streets. Warm candlelight. Slow voices. They appear like distant pictures, then fade. You do not follow them. You let them go. The market. The homes. The gentle work. All of it settles into the background. The Victorian world does not disappear suddenly. It fades like light at dusk, like sound drifting away. The mind no longer needs to imagine anything. It can rest too. The body understands this moment well. It has been waiting for it. Sleep approaches without being invited. There is no effort involved, no counting, no forcing. Just allowing. The room feels wider now, then smaller, then not important at all. Awareness drifts. Breathing remains slow, steady, in, out. Even the ticking clock seems to stretch farther apart, or maybe it is already fading. It no longer matters. Victorian England continues its long night without you watching. The town does not need observation anymore. It knows how to rest on its own. The lamps, the streets, the houses, all fading into quiet. Thoughts dissolve before finishing. Images blur. The mind loosens its grip completely. Sleep arrives gently, not as a moment, but as a process, a slow letting go. The last bits of awareness slip away, like a soft blanket being pulled higher. Nothing remains to be done. Nothing remains to be remembered. The Victorian world fades into darkness peacefully, completely. And you drift with it